Hi, I'm Ken. Just like you, I'm a modern astronomer. This is session number 7 of my series on using Pixinsight and building your own workflow. I've shown you everything from how to set up your environment that will work very well for you, as well as how to use BlurXTerminator and other tools that I use. This one is what I consider the very first one on processing. Everything up to here I consider as pre-processing. So let me minimize. So what we have here from our previous videos is these two images were created and stretched out using Easy Processing Suite. They are both done, one with the Askar C1 filter, which is HA, and then this one, also done in Easy Processing Suite, was the C2 filter, which is SII. And then these are images that I stretched out with the histogram transform, and I did not mean to do that. And then these two are the ones I stretched out using global, I always say this wrong, generalized hyperbolic stretch. I say that wrong every time. All right, so what we're going to do now is take each image and work on them one at a time. The workflow is going to be similar on all of them, but not the same. Okay, so I'm going to show you the first one, which would be Easy Processing Suite. Oh, by the way, these images over here were the original unstretched ones. And if you remember, I made clones and then stretched out each one. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is create a mask. All right, so you can do a mask a couple different ways. This particular one's not too bad. A little bit of light pollution around here. And if we look at all of them, I think you'll see light pollution. But you don't see a lot of light pollution with the histogram one, probably because I pulled it out as we were generating the image. I did better at pulling it out, I should say. So let me see which one I think is by now. Ew, definitely not you. That's a lot of light pollution. All right, I'm going to make this one my startup to make a mask for what we're going to work with. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is clone this. So we're going to go duplicate, minimize you. All right, now that I have my image, the first thing I want to do is neutralize the background a little bit. If you remember, I have an image down here that's currently called image 21, which is a background that I created with the Automatic Background Extraction. All right, so let's just take a little bit of the lightness out of that. All right, I'm going to take out 2, a little bit more, I think, 3. I'm looking right in here, just trying to dim that out a little. 4, 5. I think that might do it. We'll find out. All right, so that is going to be our mask. Let's open up our original now. All right, we're going to drag you over like we do with all masks. All right, so to show you the mask is on, that button hides or shows the mask. All right, so we're going to be working with that image now. Let's open up curves. Open up a preview window. All right, so let's see if we can get rid of some of this grayness out of here. I think we'll be able to. So this icon right there, so this was the one that turns the mask on and off. This one enables or disables the mask, so actually turns it on and off. This one's just more so you can see it. This one here inverts the mask. That's what we want to do first. On here, we're going to click on RGB. Now we're looking at it. Now we don't want to do that and pull it real down real fast, just a little bit, baby steps at a time. So I'm going to bring RGB down, lightness down, and I'm also going to bring down saturation. I'm going to hit it. Now notice that instantly made this darker. Now this would be if it gets hit twice. Sometimes I'll hit it twice, sometimes just once. Today I'm just going to go once. And now I'm going to turn it back on. Now I'm going to do the opposite. So now we're no longer going to the background. Now we're going to the image. So let's brighten up that image just a hair. Remember, everything's baby steps and a little more saturation. So we did the same thing, RGB, lightness, and saturation to lighten that up. Let's click it and run. So this is what it would look like if I run it again. I am going to go ahead and run it again. Okay, now let's get rid of you back to normal. We're going to go background again. So we're inverting our mask. Let's go saturation, does not matter as much. Okay, let's do with our RGB. Let's go with our lightness. And hit OK. All right. So we're getting a little darker. I think one or two more times, and this one might have just all we need to actually start working with it. So let's make it lighter again. Light. RGB lighter. And then saturation lighter too. This time we're going to put a little bit more saturation in. Try to get some of the yellows out there. All right, that's not looking bad. If I shut that off, that's actually what it looks like. I think I want to add in a little bit more. For each. All right, now minimize you. We could probably afford to get rid of a little bit more darkness. I should say the gray to get a little bit more darkness. Let's bring down saturation a little bit. Bring down the RGB a little bit. And our lightness a little bit. We lost a little bit in there, but I think we'll be okay. All right, let's exit out. Okay, all in all, that is not looking bad at all. I kind of lost a little bit of the colors up in here. So let's go back and just add a little bit more strength to it. Now we don't want to bring it up that high because it kind of washes it out just a hair. And a little saturation. And 2 times. All right, so that one, we're going to end it. Close you. This time we're going to take off our mask. All right, and that one we're going to say is good to go for now. All right, I'm going to do the same exact thing to all the others, still with the stars in it. So let me do those. I will do those offline. No use for you watching the same process over and over again. But just know I'm going to do the same thing, which is, again, we're going to make the mask. We already have a mask created. We're going to add the mask to that image. And as you can see, the mask is on. Then in curves, we're going to darken it up a little, but I think I might lighten this one up first since we're not on the background. And just keep following this process until we have each image done. All right, I have all 6 of them cleaned up now. So the original Easy Processing Suite, that was HA. Easy Processing Suite, that's SII. This one was done with the histogram. Actually, the histogram's got nice depth to it. And then the SII also done on the histogram. And then our ones that I did with generalized hyperbolic stretch. Still a little bit of light pollution over there, but I think we'll be able to get rid of that later. I didn't want to over-process, which is one of the things that you'll see a lot of people that'll have over-processed images. So at this point, I think I am done with this as my mask. So let's just go ahead and close it. Worst case scenario is I create another. All right, I'm not going to need curves. At this point, the next step is to take out the stars. So it's going to be the exact same process on all of them with the stars. So I'm going to go to Star Terminator, open it up. My AI I've already selected. I always use that one, but select it again. All right, and just drag it over. Each one of these will take about 2 minutes. So I'm going to separate all the stars. And then the next thing we'll do is inspect the stars and figure out what we're going to do to put our stars back into the images after we clean up the images. If we go back to the beginning of this entire process, we're going to compare what we get out of Easy Processing Suite, what we get out of using our normal histogram, and what image we get using the generalized hyperbolic stretch. One of these days I'll be able to say that. All right, so let's start with our Easy Processing script images. All right, so this is our HA. Now there's a lot of color in this because it's an RGB image. What we want to do at this point is separate them so we have a red, a green, and a blue, and a lightness. And then we're going to do the same thing with the SII. So our HA is generally red. SII is generally green. And the O2 filter is going to normally be oxygen or blue. And we can see the blue in here. So let's go ahead and separate these. We're also going to need a lightness because the way we're going to put them together. So we're going to go up to Image. We're going to go up to Color Spaces. We're going to go to Extract. And we're going to extract our RGB channels. Okay, so now we have a red, a green, and a blue. We will no longer need that, so let's get it out of the way. And now let's extract our lightness channel. Image, Extract, Lightness. All right, so now we have everything that we need. Let's go ahead and close that one. Now, we're going to do the same to this one, but we won't need the lightness because the one lightness is all that we'll need. So we're going to go to Image. We're going to Extract, and we're going to split the RGB channels again. All right, so we no longer will need this one. So let's minimize it and stick it up there. All right, so remember the blue now. So let's compare our two blues. So the blues, this one actually to me looks a little bit better than this one. So let's just get rid of you. We may or may not come back to it, probably not. And let's make this one blue. Okay, so if you remember, SII is green, so we definitely want to use that one as opposed to I'm going to get the lightness out of the way too. Pour lightness over there. All right, so remember, SII is not red, so let's move that one down because we don't need it. We can actually close it. And our HA green, we don't need that either. Okay, so now we have our HA filter, our red, we have our SII filter, our green, and then we have our blue here. Okay, so now we need to pump these up a little bit. And then we're going to use this LRGB tool to put them all back together. All right, let's go ahead and start working on our blue image first. So our blue image, we're going to put a mask on it by using our lightness. Comes in very handy. We'll turn that on, minimize you. As you can see, our mask is on. Let's open up curves and a preview window. Now, the only one of these tools that's going to work is going to be RGB. It's going to really pump stuff up for it. So let's bring that up. All right, so our next step now is I use the LRGB combination tool. I keep it over here as a process icon, but of course you can get to it through processes. You can get through it through process up here. And as I always tell you, it's much easier to find stuff in alphabetical order. So now with this tool, we are going to take our lightness, our red, our blue, and our green, put them together. And now we might have to go change some colors. We'll find out. All right, so it automatically picked out our lightness because we only had one lightness. We had a couple reds, but I want to make sure we use the HA red in this case. So we have that. Now green, we want to make sure we use the SII green. So that's our C2 filter. So we want to go to C2 because that's different. Now, oxygen, we could have used either one. As you know, I chose the one that was H1, so we're going to go back to our C1 filter and do that. Now, if we use 3 filters, obviously, we'd be using 1 filter for each one. I'm going to keep the defaults on and just hit, and let's see what kind of image we have. All right, so there's our image, not touching anything during that portion of the processing. And now, me being colorblind, I think the colors look fine. You might say that they're not. And then if our final image, we're going to go to Expression Editor. We're going to go to our Final Stars. Where are you? There you are. Final Stars plus, and this is image 59. So add that, hit OK, and hit the square. And there is our image for Easy Processing Suite. I'm not happy with that by any means. So I think we need to do a little work here. So let's take this. Let's put our mask on. We're going to use the lightness mask. Go back here. We can minimize our lightness mask. As always, hide it. All right, let's open up our curves again. Do a preview window. Go to RGB. And let's just pump this up. Pump up a little lightness to it. And pump up a little saturation to it. I'm going to do 2. Okay, now let's see what PixMath gives us. All right, so PixMath did a little bit better, but still, I'm not happy with this at all. So I could spend the next several hours playing with this and make it look better. But the whole process of this was to show you the 3 different ways of doing it. I think our image with the histogram is going to come out the best. Actually, I'll tell you the truth, I'm surprised that my Easy Processing Suite is not looking that good. Because that's actually not looking too bad. I'm going to back that off, though. Because that, to me, looks like the best one. So here's what I'm going to do with PixMath. We're going to do Open Expression Editor. We're going to do points. I'm going to say 5 times Final Stars. Close the bracket. Plus, and we are now going to use image 59. Is that the one we have? Yep, image 59. Hit OK. Let's see how that comes out. A little bit better. Okay, so now that what was happening, because we made the stars so bright that it was actually taking over the image. So again, Easy Processing Suite, easy. Even though we used filters to make it a little bit harder, if you didn't have the filters, you would have been done already. And you could have played around with the image with curves and made it better. So let's just stop at that one. And I'm going to close out everything here so when we do the next one, they're not in our way. All right, so we're going to now do the exact same process with histogram and with our generalized hyperbolic stretch. One of these days I'll be able to say that word. All right, so I'm going to do these offline, and I'll be back in a second. I did the same function on the histogram image and on the generalized hyperbolic stretch image. All right, so here, once again, here's our Easy Processing Suite image. Drag that up there. Okay, here's our histogram image. A little bit more blue. So Easy Processing Suite did not bring out as much color, is the first thing I'm noticing. I did not play with the colors on these. And our third and final is the generalized hyperbolic stretch, which might be the best one. So I'm going to move you off the screen just a hair so we can look at them back and forth. So which one do you think looks better? I'm going to say you're the worst because there's not enough going on there. So we'll just minimize, get you out of the way. So a lot of times, like I said, I will do it this much till I find out the image I like. To me, this one looks, now I'm colorblind, but this one looks a little better to me. This one looks a little purplish to me. But this one, boy, I don't know. And I don't even know if it's a good image. So which one do you like better is the question. Because that's the one that you should be putting up on your Facebook page. Again, I'm not a person that puts them onto other websites, even though I do have an Astro bin, only because a lot of times you'll see people just bash you. They think they're great at it, so they're going to bash you instead of making you feel good about what you did. My opinion is you should feel good for what you did. All right, again, thanks for watching. I'm Ken. This is how modern astronomy is. A lot of it really is inside here. Working with Pixinsight is my favorite tool to work with. I'm getting better at it every day. And the more I look at it, I think this is going to be my image right there. And I will put that one on my website. All right. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. If not, I hope you saw some of the mistakes I made and you learned from them.